I feel like I'm missing something. Am I missing something?
Grab the booze.
Oh my god, this thing. Holy.
I figure we
Can
do.
you tell them what it is?
Yeah, we probably should do that earlier to give my liver a chance to start processing that.
Okay, so this is the slice of life bit, but it's gonna come back.
Okay.
It looks angry.
Alcohol from China
And rugby.
and rugby. That's
From
why
us.
we're here.
That's it. Alright, I'm gonna put this down here. Okay, Mark. We're here at my house again.
We are. It's a Monday.
We got some decent feedback on our microphones, but you know what?
What?
I'm still a little bit worried that we could still be screwing it up. Although
There's always a good chance.
there's always some sort of technical difficulty that we face. What do you think today is going to be? We should do a sweepstake.
Is the SD card...
I got a new SD card.
Okay. Rather than clearing the old one, you're just like, I'm just going to get a new SD card.
I couldn't find the other one. No, because the smaller one didn't have that much stuff on it anyway.
Okay.
But then I couldn't find the big one that I used in the last in the.
They're tricky beasts, aren't they?
They
They're
are.
kind of small. Even the big ones aren't the biggest.
Well, this one in the camera is 64.
Okay.
That should be all right.
Yeah.
And the one in the Zoom,
Yeah.
that's recording thingamajiggy.
The audio.
That's 16. So I think
Audio doesn't take up as much space.
yeah, we should be okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Well, look. Before we get into the rugby, I want to point out that I'm eating some salty nuts.
Peanuts.
Why am I eating salty peanuts?
Peanuts, because in...
ASMR for you.
Bit of ASMR, yeah. To, I guess, wash away the misery of the Blues loss at the weekends at the Crusaders, we are going to try out some Funjo.
Which is very
This
rare.
stuff.
It's in honor of the Crusaders. What a team they are, really.
They're great.
I really love them.
They are
Great,
fantastic.
love those Crusaders.
It's a 500ml bottle of Chinese spirits, basically.
Chinese death.
It's
We're not talking about COVID.
no, it probably can kill COVID because it's 53% alcohol.
That's
So-
similar. That's like hand sanitizer.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty stuff, but it goes better with salty peanuts.
So without salty peanuts,
It's foul.
would it go well with salty anchovies?
I've never tried salty anchovies.
Well, we'll do that another time.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna give it the crack over the microphone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, love a bit of ASMR. Oh, there go the notes. We will talk about rugby at some point. Oh, sorry.
No, there's no crack.
Now people are gonna say we just filled it full of water.
Give that a sniff.
I'm gonna give this a whiffy whiff. Just smelling what the normal
For
smells
comparison.
like. Whoa. Whoa.
I didn't actually think it's that bad, but I'm more
Damn, son.
I'm more used to this stuff.
It's like smelling salts. No, yeah, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like the first time I ever smelt like whiskey when I was a kid.
Right.
Like I was like opening a whiskey bottle and being like, whoa, who drinks this?
Right.
Like petrol? But that
This stuff comes out of your pores, man. When you've been drinking it, you
you
can
make
pretty
it
much smell it on your body.
awesome. All right, so you meant to drink it out of shot glasses, but
Right.
I don't have any shot glasses.
Yeah.
So we got these little espresso mugs.
La-di-da, Mr. Aucklander.
La-dee-da.
I'm just going to go kind of easy on...
Yeah, how many standard drinks are in?
I don't know.
whatever?
I'm just going for a wee baby
You
one.
pull me, mate. I'm in your hands. I can't believe they think this is real. It's actually just water.
That's about the same, right?
Oh, fuck.
This is your first time drinking
don't
this
spill
stuff.
it. Oh man, I don't want to drink that. It like stung my eyes.
Have some peanuts.
That's straight petrol. I feel like it's Sex Panther. You know that stuff from Anchorman? No, I've never tried Sex Panther. It's from Anchorman.
I've seen Anchorman, but I don't remember it.
You know when the one character, what's his name? The guy from Everything. Anyway,
Will Ferrell?
No, Will Ferrell's character is getting shot
Sue
up by.
Carell?
No, the guy Brian Fantana, whatever his name
Ant-Man.
is. Ant-Man.
Right.
What's his name? Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd, yeah, there you
Paul
go.
Rudd's character is showing Will Ferrell all his different colognes for what they're gonna have.
That's right. No, I remember
And
that scene. He opens that cupboard thing, and it's just all...
Yeah, this smells like, and it's like Sex Panther, the stuff that smells like Bigfoot's dick. Whoa, shit! What was it? Not down the hatch, just a sip.
I reckon just go with a sip. To the Crusaders.
To those Sheep shagging bastards. All right.
I might just watch your reaction because don't oversell it. If you think it's all right, then,
I'll be like, I'll play it cool.
but then again, if it's disgusting, let us know.
Smells gross. Smells
What
like
does it smell like?
just pure alcohol. Like,
Yeah, it doesn't smell great.
yeah.
Have some peanuts.
Give me some peanut. God damn! I can. For some reason, I'm closing my eyes and all I can see is like an 8.
Yeah, it kind of burns.
It's burning the inside of my brain.
It kind of burns, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
That reminds
It's burning all the way down.
That reminds me of the first time I tried hard booze.
Right. Now imagine you're at a Chinese banquet and you are being... Basically, anytime you rest from eating, someone is going, hey, have a drink.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a Malaysian friend who's Malaysian Chinese.
Right.
And yeah, at his wedding, they were drinking some sort of crazy stuff. And
It may have been something like this.
And he had to go around to every table,
Yep.
and everyone went, something in Chinese.
Yep.
And then, yeah. And I think he was doing a little bit of the sneaky, no drinky by the end of it. So he could stay on
Definitely
his
the
feet.
groom who's supposed to go and to kind of toast every table is kind of known for swapping it out with some Sprite or some water.
Because it's going to kill them otherwise.
You would basically literally kill yourself.
Yeah, a little sneaky, no drinky.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Well,
I've drank this stuff before, and this stuff's pretty bad.
look, maybe it's definitely an acquired taste. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's get into those nuts, motherfucker.
It's the only thing I found, like any kind of chaser, water, soft drink, beer, doesn't work. You can still taste this stuff, but the salty food, because this stuff's not really made for just like drinking on its own. People usually have it at a meal. So, yeah, it's the only thing that kind of eases the burning is a bit of
Like
salt flavor.
It's not. It's. I was about to say it's not horrible. Like I'm not a big vodka guy. I
Right.
like whiskey.
Yeah.
So vodka I find a hard drink to drink. But yeah, what is 53? What's a booze that's 53%?
Most of them are in the 40s, right?
I think so. So yeah, she's strong. Damn. Oh, it's the smell. It just keep bringing it to my face. Okay, should we put it down for a sec and we'll just sip away, but we'll try and talk about some rugby as well.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
that was a
it's
bit of a
okay.
distraction. I've been talking about the Chinese booze for a long time.
I'm just gonna plug away on this little thing.
Okay.
So it was a good weekend to be wearing red.
It was.
I've been working on that all weekend. Oh, since the end of the weekend.
Well done.
Yeah, that's
I
my
actually
major
found
contribution.
this weekend of rugby bloody good.
Intense.
Despite the Blues loss, there were a lot of good games this weekend. Super Rugby, URC, it was a feast.
When your game that really irritated me other than the Blues,
Okay.
the Drua.
Oh, yeah.
Can they just get up when
Away from home.
like they remind me a lot of the old Warriors. Like,
Okay. Everything reminds you of the Warriors.
well, the Warriors used to have.
We were just saying before we started recording about the Blues getting a harsh refereeing call, and you said, it's just like being a Warriors fan.
Yes, if you know the Warriors, then you know that they get harsh calls. Far more than the other teams I support around the world. But just in terms of the fact that they used to have Mount Smart as an absolute fortress, like people used to hate going there because the fans were intense. They had all the Pacifica drums,
But they couldn't travel.
but they just lost every week away. So
It's
they
a bit
were,
like the Bulls as well in the URC. The Bulls struggle away from home. Some teams have just got that kind of blessing of a fortress, but then the curse on the road.
South African teams are never going to be able to show how good they are in any competition, I think, unless it's for whatever reason everybody decides to have an entire league, as they would say, in South Africa, because they have long travel.
They got long flights wherever they go.
Wherever they go, and that's brutal, you know.
Not for the URC final though. Stormers will be at home for that one.
That's going to be massive. That's going to be Who are you tipping?
I mean, Stormers at home.
Stormers at home. I'm going to tip my boys in red.
Okay.
County Cork's finest, Munster.
Do you want to start with that one? Because I know you watched that game.
Yeah, why not?
Leinster and Munster in the URC.
It was such a strange game to watch because there were so many moments in that game I thought, they're out. They're gone. Like, there would be that classic thing where they would be on their line, and they just kept on getting repelled, and then Leinster would finally get an opportunity and score.
Yeah.
And at the very end, I remember, like, because I'm not a massive fan, but the team I kind of support is Munster. And I was like, those scrums where they were getting dominated with 2 minutes to go, I was like, that's the game. That's them. That's their guy. Just a couple of strange calls, a little knock on here or there. And then they had an opportunity for a penalty, and who was the bloke who knocked it over?
Jack Crowley with the droppy.
Hell of a game.
I know.
From start to finish. Really entertaining.
If you didn't watch it, it was 15 points Leinster, Munster away from home, 16. And I've been watching, because I mean, Leinster and Munster for me is the closest equivalent I can draw from a New Zealand perspective is it's Crusaders Blues. But Leinster are the Crusaders.
Can I say that I thought it was a high quality game than the Crusaders Blues?
Oh, yeah, for sure. There's this game. I'm just talking about in terms of like the two teams. Like teams that don't like each other, the traditional rivals.
Oh, I tried to take it. I tried to take a decent bit. I saw that you'd finished yours.
Yes, nasty.
I feel like it's that Hot Ones show where you're trying to talk about something while doing something really unpleasant.
You could do that with this stuff, like because this is 53%. The other bottle I had was 40%. You could do it with an increasingly...
Oh, man, I'm starting to sweat. Oh, man, it is something different, this.
Yeah. Try drinking more than just like one glass of it. Yeah.
We'll try and get one done near the end. Oh, no, you've got to drive.
I got to drive. That's why I wanted to get it done early. So, as I said, my liver can start processing.
Then we've got a couple of beers here. So.
Beers, I think we can kind of
nurse those away.
Yeah. But, it was 15-16. I've been watching Leinster and Munster. Admittedly,
I'm crying.
I've
got tears in my
I've only
eyes.
been watching these teams like since 2018, so maybe 2019. So I've only really been kind of following more intently since the channel started, like what's been going on with these two teams. And Munster loses every time in my recent experience. It's like the Blues and Crusaders prior to last year when we beat them finally down there.
Yeah.
It's just every time we bloody lose.
They just have that edge.
It's been like
class
that with
and
Munster.
also culture. It's just slightly better.
Now, admittedly, Leinster have got the Champions Cup final this weekend, so they rested a few guys. They didn't quite put out the kind of Irish team that they normally put out. But, Munster have only got this competition, and it showed.
Yeah.
They had a few injuries of their own.
Well, I looked at then they went to the crowd and they saw Sixpence a few times.
Yeah,
and
he's injured, so...
But the men around him, it looked like some pretty hefty talent on the...
for sure.
In the,
half
in
the
the
Irish
stands.
side, yeah,
and I was
that's
like,
right.
Was that strategic because of the Heineken Cup?
I think so, yeah.
Well, you risk your players to get burnt, don't you?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, but I was really admired the way Munster just kept on plugging away.
How many times were they just like not going to take the three, and then they would go for a ball, and then they would knock the ball on, and
or
you
get it
like,
stripped, or just or a big tackle would be on their line.
Yeah,
and
Leinster's defense
so
was
many
immense.
moments where you would generally say, "Oh, that's a momentum killer.
Yeah.
That's a momentum swing.
Yeah.
That's that." We'll look back and say it was a crucial moment, but they just, no matter what the tea leaves appeared to say, they didn't lose heart.
just kept plugging away.
As opposed to what we saw with the Blues, which I think one of their biggest problems is a lack of belief.
Right.
You know, like in these tight moments, they've been in tight games, games they could have won so many times, but they've been unable to, have the belief to pull any of them out of the fire. Against the Brumbies, against the Chiefs, against the Crusaders twice.
Yeah. All the big games.
Yeah. You could almost argue that their biggest victory was the Drua in Fiji.
Yeah, them or the Canes when we beat them. I
Yeah.
think we beat them down there, so...
That's,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a funny. We're not quite there yet, though, are we? We're getting onto those teams. But it was an interesting just to compare those two games this weekend.
Yeah. But, I mean, intensity-wise... Did
Brilliant.
you know the result when you watched it?
No.
Oh, man, thank goodness.
I know. Just for once. I didn't know the result.
Yeah.
I usually screw it for
You
myself.
usually look it up.
No, I
Or
don't
at
look it
least
up.
you get spoiled somehow.
Like, I take a shit. I fucking take Twitter out.
And then boom.
Scroll through, and that's exactly how I found out about the Chiefs and the Brumbies.
Right.
Which I probably wouldn't have watched unless I knew the result.
Right.
But I really wish I watched it live.
Chiefs and the Reds.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Okay,
Chiefs.
right.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so Munster through to a final.
Go Munster.
They've made a semi-finals, I feel like, many years running, and just in the short time I've been following them, and they just never make the final. They're finally through to a final. They're going to Cape Town to play the Stormers, who won their semi-final 43-25. I know you didn't watch that one. You've seen maybe a kind of few tidbits of it,
A little
but
bit here and there. Was it? You said it was tighter than it.
it was tighter than the scoreline because the Stormers, like Connacht, were within 7 points. If they got a converted try with like 5 minutes to go, they would have gone in front. Mm-hmm. But instead of them getting a converted try, the Stormers just got 2. And like, do you remember like Lucanio Arms like behind the back pass from the Springboks? Was it a year or two ago? Like
the All Blacks.
the Stormers did that with Hachiva Daimani, one of their loose forwards, just like took a ball out of the wing. It was just phenomenal. There was some bloody
talent.
There was some amazing scores in that try. They used to be at Newlands, but now they're at like the Cape Town Football Stadium, and it's one with an absolutely awful turf pitch. It's just
really?
It rips up like crazy. But apparently they are going to relay it for next season. But there's going to be a final there in a fortnight, and
Some of the football pitches are a bit like that.
it's just not made for rugby.
Especially scrums.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
There was a couple of penalties where you were like, he's gone, he's been penalised for hinging, but actually he's just slipped because his feet are given out. There's no traction on the ground. Yeah,
He's trying to ruck
like Franz Malherbe, like the Springbok tight head who is basically in the team for a scrummage and gets pinged at scrum time, and you're like, something not right here.
Yeah, right. Yeah, fair enough. Oh, mate. That's going to be massive.
But it means the Stormers 2 finals in 2 years of the URC. Since the URC has been established, the Stormers have made the final twice. They've hosted it. They will be hosting it twice.
Wow. So
Yeah. They could go back to back.
So, but they were the best team in the URC throughout. Like
Leinster were the side that they only lost once.
Yeah.
And they had 1 draw. So Leinster.
So they were top of your power rankings most of the time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but the Stormers were always kind of there or thereabouts.
Yeah. Okay.
But Munster.
Would it be akin to basically the Chiefs winning this year? That they've been really, really strong.
Yeah, Leinster were doing the Chiefs thing.
Yeah.
They pretty much dominated all the regular season, and then they just lost the semi-final at home again. Are you done? Nice.
Finished it.
You're not driving, so you can help yourself to some more if you like.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate your generosity.
Yeah.
Give me some sweet beer. I don't know what have we been talking about. I blacked out.
But yeah,
It stings the tongue.
the URC's been a good comp. I'm loving it. What
You're
can I
loving
say? I'm going to be interested to see who gets the broadcast rights here in NZ for the next season.
If Australia, okay, I'm going to do a little bit of going off what we're talking about.
Okay.
Let's say worst case scenario, Australia leaves Super Rugby.
Where the hell did you get this tangent from?
Australia leaves Super Rugby, they do their own thing. New Zealand,
They're not doing that,
but that's what they were threatening.
but they're not. They're all happy friends now.
Oh, they're giving each other hand jobs again. Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you see a world where we have some sort of World Club Championship?
That would be
Basically,
great.
You know,
I would love to see the Chiefs taking on the Stormers right now. I mean, I know we used to see that in Super Rugby, but
I'd like to see the Chiefs taking on
Leinster.
Leinster or Munster.
one of the
right
teams
now.
we've never seen them
Yeah,
play before.
exactly. Like, give me a bit of like even the league used to. I guess.
Super Rugby champion against Champions Cup champion. That would be fantastic.
Well, the Super League does it. They play the World Club Championship.
How do
with
they
NRL.
do the timing?
See,
is the timing always crap for someone?
Yeah, it is. It always favours the UK team. Like until this year, they always had it in the UK. So the Australian team always had to travel all the way across
Right.
the UK, and it would be part of the pre-season games
Pre-season for the NRL
for
teams.
the NRL
Right.
teams, and it would come right at the end for the UK teams. And the UK teams, for whatever reason, took it way more seriously. You know, they're like, this is us to become the best club team in the world.
Right.
Whereas the Australian teams are just
There's
so
a warm-up.
Well, yeah, they're just so arrogant as well. They're always just like, we know that this is, right? You know, in the NRL is a way higher class competition. But they go into it not prepared, and often the English team wins.
Right. Well, not surprising given
Yeah.
the stage of the competition.
But it'd be good if to have a legitimate one where it was basically the highest class quality, highest class competition you could possibly have.
Right.
You know what I'd like to see? I'm sorry, I'm going off on another little tangent.
Okay.
I've been thinking about this a bit this week. I love State of Origin. Bloody well love it.
Back to rugby league again.
I really do.
That's
but
right.
you know what I want? We had it 1 year. I really enjoyed it. I want to see some hype. I want to see some hate. I want to see some vengeance. I want to see the most biffo we can possibly see
North-South?
without North-South. Get in behind it. You know, rally around it. Like
They only did it during COVID.
yeah, North-South. Give us North. You don't like it?
I remember they kind of dicked around with the teams last
such a
time,
cool-
and that you had like the Barretts playing for different teams because they had joined different Mitre 10 Cup sides.
Yeah.
I feel like the State of Origin is not. Is it what first NRL team you played for, or is it where you come
No,
from?
it's where you come from.
That's how it
Although
should be.
they have, there are some players who, I don't know how the eligibility rules work, but
Right.
it's generally meant to be State of Origin.
Yeah.
Where you originate from.
Not just the first team you played for.
So I think technically, if you were born on the South Island, but you played for Northcote Tigers,
Right.
you should be playing for North
North,
Island.
right,
And so
okay.
vice versa. So
Yeah.
the first club team you played for as a kid, that is, because that's what they actually do. They come out and they say, Payne Haas, Coonawarra,
Right.
scumbags. Like,
Whatever team you played for, yeah.
yeah. That's who they're representing.
Okay.
You know? It's cool.
That should be a thing. Like I feel like when they did it, they did the North-South game during COVID to get a big match on because we were starved for internationals. But I feel like they pre-looked at all the available players and were like, how do we get two relatively even teams? So they chose an eligibility criteria to fit the teams being even. So hence the Barretts playing on different teams, which when you're talking about
I'd love
State of Origin or Island of Origin, that doesn't make sense.
I think it would be great because sometimes you see these great players who play for like the Rabbitohs and the Roosters and stuff. It'll very much New South Wales clubs, and you're like, holy crap, he is actually a Queenslander, and he goes back and he represents Queensland with a huge amount of passion. That would be like seeing Sam Whitelock, who's from the Manawatu, playing for. Kieran Reid was from
Counties, yeah.
Yeah, he's
from Waiuku or something, right?
He went to Rosehill College,
Right.
You know, you're like, and then vice versa, you'd see Damon McKenzie playing for South.
That's right. That's how it
You
should
know,
be. For mine.
absolutely.
Because if you ask those guys in their heart of hearts, are you a North Islander or a South Islander? That's probably where your eligibility comes
100%.
from.
That'd be great
Not
to
just
see.
like which Mitre 10 Cup team did you join.
Yeah, I feel like I've kind of lambasted this podcast by going off on a very, tangent that we weren't at all.
This is a
prepared for.
podcast, by the way, available on
Spotify,
Google Podcasts,
iHeart Radio,
Apple Podcasts,
Podbean.
and Stitcher, just in case you want to listen to us instead of
and that's
watching
all-
on YouTube.
That's the repertoire of what we can think off the top of our heads.
There we go.
Well done.
We said it at the first half of the podcast for a change. That was a bit soft. There we go.
Oh, there we go. That was much better.
Yep.
Crisp.
Second time lucky.
Yeah. All right. Well,
So yeah, URC final is on the 28th of May. So you got a couple of weeks, which is cool because it gives the Munster boys a bit of prep time to have a training week and then get down to South Africa nice and early.
Okay, let's have a bet then.
Okay.
Okay, so
I'm on Team Stormers.
I'm on Team Munster.
Because my son that's his favourite side.
Yeah, and my people are from that area in Ireland. So I will go with that. And the loser
Has to drink more of this stuff.
has to do a shot
Okay.
of that
Funjo.
death liquid.
Okay.
Feng Shui? What is it?
Funjo.
Fengjo.
Yep.
So it's like I'm going to give her a Fengjo.
Yep.
Finger job.
That's it.
Right, gotcha. All right. Your finger blaster.
Contains
It looks
20 standard drinks. Okay. Water, sorghum, barley, and peas.
It looks like it would somehow came from the devil's penis.
It's nasty. It's angry.
Yeah.
But yeah, 28th of May, 4:30 a.m. kickoff. Set your alarm now.
4:30 a.m.
A.m. For a South African kickoff time, that's actually not too bad. Like 4:30 a.m. is kind of doable.
What's that their evening?
That'll be there like 5:30 over there, like in the or maybe 6:30.
6:30.
Yeah.
In the PM.
Yeah.
And then that's and it's nice for some sounds.
Got an email.
4:30 for the friends in the UK then. Nice time zone.
I think 5:30 for them. I think South Africa's an hour off them at the moment. I could be mistaken, but yeah.
All right, take these nuts away from me because I'm just going to sit here crunching them and people are going to get irritated.
Okay.
Unless do you want some nuts before I take them?
I'll lean
Put
back.
them away from me because I just can't control myself. I will just always.
When you see nuts.
I've got to reach from them. Well, that's going to be. So one of us has to do a decent shot of it, poured by the other person,
Okay.
and I'll be very kind to you.
Go Stormers.
Come on, Munster. Up, Munster. All right, cool bananas. So, The other game of there was a couple of other relatively significant results.
How many
Significant
Super Rugby games did you do? Do I need to do the round where
Yeah,
you...
we do the round.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Because I watched two.
Chiefs Reds
Uh,
on Friday.
you would have been I was saying it all week. I was saying the Reds are going to win this. I was telling everyone, I was like, just got a feeling in my bones. Like, have you seen what Brad Thorne's been talking about? He's really got the boys right in the right gear for that.
Because the media was hyping that one up.
Yeah,
big time.
Really
the clash in New Plymouth.
Clash of the century, they were saying.
Reds
Yeah.
underperforming. Chiefs unbeaten.
Yeah.
It was all over the news in New Zealand.
And I just knew.
In your bones.
In my bones. The
You
Reds
had a
were gonna
gut feeling.
And look, I was proved right. So, yeah, Reds got up for that one. And you know what I loved about that game?
The Reds' defence.
Yeah, there was nothing arsey about the win.
No.
Because once I knew the result, the Warriors were on at the same time.
Right.
I watched the Warriors, and then the Warriors won. I was just bathed in oxytocin and love and happiness and serotonin and just
You're in a happy place.
And I was like, the bowels are like, we can release finally, unclench the sphincter, and I was like, better go take a shit. So I was taking a shit, went on my phone and went on my phone. I was in there and went, what the fuck?
The Chiefs lost.
Yeah, and then Lydia was like, are you okay? But yeah, and I was like, oh god,
Do you need the cream?
I've got the bucket. I don't know what that would be for. The bucket?
Yep.
If somebody can run the comments how that's a joke somehow, I'd appreciate it. So then I was like, shit, we're going to have to talk about this.
Yeah.
So I watched it late at night on the Friday night. And
For anyone not following Super Rugby, as I said, the
That's a
Chiefs,
huge
until that
result.
game, were at
Huge
home.
result.
The Chiefs were unbeaten. They've beaten all comers. They've beaten the Crusaders twice. And they were at home, although it's their secondary ground in terms
Yeah.
of being in New Plymouth rather than Hamilton. But they were against the Reds, who haven't won in New Zealand for a decade.
Yeah.
And they've got a big-time negative record this year. Like, they're well in the kind of mid-bottom table
haven't
of the
done
teams.
anything special.
They've
at all.
not looked like a contender at all.
Not in the slightest. And they got up and they kept on turning them away. Their tries weren't like these long range efforts for the most part. They were just hard. It was just well earned. Fought and earned for, and they were the better team.
Yeah.
And they won the bloody game. And
Super Rugby needs more games like that, man. Like,
Bloody well do.
you go into most of these games and you're like, Chiefs, Reds at home. All
Chiefs are
right.
gonna win
Chiefs
that.
by how much? 1 to 12 or 13 plus. That's basically
Yeah.
what you're thinking.
100%.
And most of the time, that's
I would have bet my house on,
right.
although I did call the Reds winning.
Yeah, of course you did.
But I think me and my previous self would have
Yeah.
called the Chiefs.
Yeah, but
Like every day of the week. Quite a remarkable result. Okay.
Chiefs did rest a few guys, but
Yeah,
still.
okay. What is it? D-Mac was still out there. Shooter
Oh,
was
yeah,
still
there was
out
still a
there.
fair few
Narawa
guys out
was
there.
still
Yeah.
out
It was
there.
still a good Chiefs lineup.
Leonard Brown was still out
No
there.
Sam Kane. It's a few guys not present, but
No.
still.
Still a
Good Chiefs side.
good Chiefs side. You should have won.
Yeah.
Well, we expected to win. They definitely shouldn't have won. They didn't deserve to win.
I watched that one live, man, and not really with a horse in the race. Like, I
Yeah,
was
you got
literally
excited?
edge of the seat.
You know
Like,
it's a good
when the
game,
Chiefs, when they were looking like those last few phases, it looked like they were going to score for all money. It looked like they had the Reds dead and buried with some kind of overlap, and I was just,
You're on
heart
there.
rate pumping, edge of the
Everyone
seat. It
loves
was
an
just,
upset.
I love that.
You love an upset, don't you?
I wanted the Reds to hold on, man. I wanted
Yeah.
it to be a big time upset. Not
Yeah.
that I don't love the Chiefs, but damn, that was great.
It's just more entertaining.
Proper theatre.
Yeah,
That was
100%.
great.
100%.
Now, that was followed up by the Force against the Drua.
Yes.
The
I do
result?
know the result of that, and I'm finding the draw a touch frustrating because they can, one week when they play at a certain ground in their home country, they're
Beasts.
fucking great.
Yes.
And then they play away from home and then they lose to the Force.
By 20 points.
A team that you should, and like with all in the second half.
Yeah.
As well, that was tight at half time, wasn't it?
The Drua was scoreless, I believe, in the second half. Yeah.
It was like 3 points in it at half
Something
time.
like that, yeah.
Yeah. It was
Finishes
tight.
34-14, so
And they're
not
playing
close at
for
all.
their life at the
Yeah,
moment.
both
isn't
of
it?
those sides needed to win that game because the Force, after that result, are 8th, and the Drua drop out of the 8th, they're into 9th.
The draw breeding the Canes and the Crusaders,
Mm.
and who else have they bet at home?
Those are the two main scalps.
But they've beaten other teams as well at home. Well, they've
They've had, I
beat
think,
Pacifica,
4 wins.
Moana,
Yeah,
Moana
they
Pacifica,
beat Moana Pacifica, Mount Smart.
and
Yeah.
they beat one other. But they take out these high quality teams, and you're like, okay, They've got the quality. They've got some class
Yeah.
there. They should
Just
be able
emulate
to-
that on the
They
road.
should be able to take care of the Force, who once again haven't done much at all this season. And then they just banana skin it, when they've got it there and they can just press their advantage, start to secure their spot in the top 8. And it goes to poos.
Yeah, so pretty comfortably beaten in the end.
Yeah, bit depressing.
Good for the Force, though. Go Western Australia. They've signed Nick White for next year.
It's our second favourite team at the 2 Cents Gets Distracted podcast is Drew. Would you agree?
Oh, I love watching them at home.
Yeah. But yeah, are they the team we're pulling for?
Oh, for sure. I'd love to see them. But to be honest, I've also, ever since the Force got the ass from Super Rugby Australia, or from Rugby Australia,
Yeah.
I've had a soft spot for them as well.
Yes.
So if the Force or the Drua
had
make
a
the
soft
8,
something else for them.
I'll be happy.
So you'd be happy if the Force make it.
I don't mind either way.
And the Highlanders didn't do themselves any favours.
No, we'll get to the Highlanders in a minute because next game was...
You hate it when I go out.
You can't, don't go on a distraction. Stop getting distracted.
Sorry, mate. Sorry, champ. Sorry.
This is the 2 Cents Rugby podcast. Since last week.
Yeah, I know. Tried to rename.
Sorry about that. Hurricanes Moana Pacifica. You watched the majority of this game, I think.
I was
when I came over to your place to watch the next game. You had it on the TV.
I was setting up our live stream for the Blues Chiefs.
So you had it
games.
on in the background.
I had it on, and
wasn't one you really needed to keep an eye on the scoreline.
It was just every time I looked up, I was like, "Oh, Artie Sevilla scored again." That was pretty much it. He got a hat trick late. It was just painful kind of viewing.
71-22. No team should be getting 71
How many missed
points
tackles?
from.
You got that stat, 2 cents?
No.
Come on. That's why they pay you the big bucks.
71 points.
Yeah, well, it's not the 96 against them the Reds got against the Crusaders back in 2002. I think that was that remote. Is that right?
Something like that.
Yeah. So it was just a bit sad at the end. Look, I'm not going to say Pacific Moana weren't trying, but when you're down by that far and there's still 10 minutes to go, they clearly just lost heart. And
It's easy enough to check out, right?
They checked out. They were going through the motions, trying to do their, go into their shapes defensively and stuff like that. But they're, not there. And just, I think, other than, especially coming off the back of that week where they really
That's the thing.
could
It's
have
such
been
a
the
big
Blues.
downer after the 1 point loss where they were so close against the Blues.
Yeah, I'd say that the Moana Pacific are not Super Rugby standard for the most part. I know that they pushed the Blues relatively close.
That's why. That's
But
kind of an anomaly at this season,
it was an
right?
anomaly, and you can't make a season out of a good loss, for God's sake. They're not up to standard. Yeah.
Nobody else is getting beaten by that margin.
Yeah. Well,
Nobody else has got no wins after 12 rounds.
Yeah. Well, and look, they've had 2 close losses. They lost.
I think they've got 3 bonus points across the season. So
they had that was a great game. The first game was it maybe first game of season or second game of season?
they lost to the Drua kind of
that's the one
relatively narrowly.
That's the game I'm talking about. And
That was at Mount Smart as well.
That was a last minute try.
Yeah, so they've lost a couple kind of at the death. But yeah, like you said, the Drua aren't the same beast our way. So
I think having the Drua as the Fijian team and Fiji rallies behind them rather than going, hey, Samoa and Tonga.
Remember all you league fans who like going to Mount Smart? Come along.
Yeah, well, let's get all those flags back. But it was because it was the kingdom of Tonga.
Not just
it wasn't
generic Pacific team. Are we being too harsh on them for that? Or is that just...
a generic Pacific team full of players who aren't actually from...
Haven't just picked up...
they're from the area, but a lot of them are born in New Zealand. Most of them are probably born
Most
in
of them are Kiwis. I think there's one guy who's gone through... No, there's one guy who's gone through the Samoan system.
Right, and that's...
All the others are New Zealand system products, I think.
Yeah. I think if it was a Tongan team or the Samoan team, they would generate a lot more... ground support, like players, but just saying, hey, and they most of the time, Samoans and Tongans have a fierce rivalry against each other. It'd be like
an Anzac team kind of thing.
Well, the Lions work somehow, so I don't know. Who knows? They were trying to hope for this new project to hope for something to happen to create a groundswell, but nothing that great has happened on the field, and that's where it's basically got to start. Imagine
Yeah.
if they managed to trot 3 or 4 wins together, like
Yeah.
20,000 Moana Pacifica fans. That's nice. That'd be great
Yeah.
to see, and then you could just kind of get a bit of momentum from there. But it's just been pretty dog shit all the way through.
Yeah. I think, I mean,
Like it depresses me when I watch them because I don't want them to get pumped.
Maybe if we get to the end of the Super Rugby season, we can dissect Moana Pacifica a bit more and talk about how it kind of could have been better implemented.
That sounds like a
Science project.
no. It sounds like a rugby video that will get 200 views.
True enough.
Is that a harsh thing to say?
Super Rugby.
I know Super Rugby in general, but let's talk about the least popular team in Super Rugby and do a deep dive on them. Like we could put
Just how it could have been implemented better.
Okay,
I reckon.
sure. Okay.
Because it definitely could have been implemented better.
Right.
Crusaders Blues 15-3. I know you watched that because we watched it together.
No, I don't. I missed that one.
Yeah.
I missed that
There's a
game.
red card to Dalton. There was a knock on that John Kerwin has been going on about.
I
you
agree.
at the time were livid.
I was fired up because it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Straight up bullshit. Like, look, okay, the red card.
It was a red card.
Yeah, Moana was falling. He was kind of looking, and
It was a red card.
It was a red card, but you know he was trying to do something. He was trying to make a big hit, and you're putting yourself at risk trying to make a big hit these days. You know, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, red card, sure. But directly from that incident, there was a knock on,
Which led to a try.
which led to a try 2 phases later.
And they didn't call it.
all year, they've been doing that, but like, oh no, we saw a tiny little knock on at the base of the scrum.
Yeah, exactly.
16 phases ago.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's take it back, and I've been tearing my hair out going, that's kind of bullshit. And the one time I'm like, oh well, at least it was go
I guess
away.
because the TMO was literally more distracted by the foul play.
It was so obvious. It was so wildly obvious. I think Dalton, before he got sent off, was trying to say, what about the knock on? What about the knock on?
Right.
They would have been aware of it.
I think
and
it
it
would
was
have
just
been
ignored.
The TMO saw
No
the knock on,
total bullshit. Shove it
but
up
then
your
they're
ass.
like,
you
something
mother-
shiny. It's the foul play for them. The foul play is the something shiny.
Yeah, that was poor refereeing. I don't have I ever bitched about the refereeing on this before?
Nah, it's not your main thing.
No, I don't think I really bitch about refereeing, but that didn't make sense to me. And
In a game which is 15-3, I don't think the Blues were going to win that either way, but still.
Okay, yeah, they didn't deserve to win this, but 2 crucial moments in that game, that knock on and the bounce of the ball where Geordie Barrett,
Geordie Barrett plays for the Hurricanes.
Yeah,
wasn't
Geordie
playing in
Barrett
that
was
game.
watching in the stands very proudly, watching his big bro going, there's my big brother. Bowden Barrett did that, great chip ahead, kick.
Yeah.
You just thought that was the moment it was going to sit up, it went to the left.
But
and
no.
Then, that's a rugby ball. But
Yeah.
So that's 2 pretty, then the game's pretty tight, but I did think that the Crusaders still deserved to win that game.
Yeah, for sure.
They won the big moments.
No arguments there at all.
Other than that moment of sort of Bodie brilliance, we defended really stoutly.
That's true. The first half especially, we were really impressive on defence. Much like it was reminiscent of the Reds' performance against the Chiefs.
Yeah,
It was just
and that was
heroic defending,
nice
which
to
was
see.
great.
But we're just lacking the belief. We've got so much class out there, but we're lacking the belief to actually pull it together. Like we're trying to do these magic plays. Off every second or third play to get the try, just build some phases. We don't seem to have any patience, and I think that's one of the criticisms you can make against Bowden Barrett is he's always looking for the space. He's so creative, but he's always looking for that kick out wide. He's always looking for the chip kick over. Sometimes you just need to build that pressure, play a bit of territory, and then when you are in that red zone, you've just got to there is a cohesiveness that is lacking, that is somehow linked to the belief in the side.
They're not looking like contenders at the moment. They're looking better than every team below them, the Waratahs to the Moana Pacifica, but they're not looking as good as the Chiefs, Brumbies, Hurricanes, or Crusaders.
But they have the talent there, and that's the thing. As a fan, you're just like, well, let's see what happens in the finals.
All we need is to click 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, and
I never know. Maybe not even 3 weeks.
I'm so stoked we're not going to be number 1 playing number 8, though. I hate that game. I remember we were number 1 last year.
We played the Highlanders.
And
the Highlanders snuck through.
Yeah, and it was sickening to watch that game.
Yeah.
Like, what are we going to play, number 5 or something?
At the moment, we would play the Waratahs.
And we can win that game.
We should win that game.
So then we can win that game.
There you go.
Yeah.
The Waratahs played the Rebels.
Waratahs. Oh my God, I don't know.
That was the game after the Crusaders game.
I
I think we
was
watched the start of
watching
it.
it.
Remember
I
the
was
Rebels
watching
went out
it.
to an early lead? We were watching
Yeah.
Amelia on the live stream.
I went to go cry rank in my room. No, I think that the Rebels got off to a flyer, and then shout out to Amelia Kaiser.
That's right.
They
Hardcore Rebels fan.
Oh, she's wicked. She's the best.
Super Rugby needs more fans like that.
Yeah. She's Well, look, there, see a little thing. Go subscribe. She's good fun to watch. I love the way she swears and gets into it and gets aggressive. Passionate. Love the passion. Anyway, the Rebels got off to a flyer and they were making it look easy for the first 10, but sadly
Rugby's an 80-minute game.
It is. It would be good for them sometimes to be a 10, 12-minute game.
Yeah.
You know, but then they fell off, and the Tars showed their quality. Well, they got a bit of quality out there, the old Tars.
I reckon the Tars are the second best Aussie team.
I agree with you.
They had a slow start to the season.
Was that profound? You look so proud of yourself for that.
Well, they had a slow start to the season. They were genuinely looking shit. They were.
Yeah, right. I think they're better than the Reds.
They were. They had a
just-
slower start than the Reds, the Rebels, and even the Force.
Mm-hmm.
I think they only had one win initially, but they looked kind of unlucky or just missing that little bit of bounce of the ball or whatever it
a little
was.
panache, a little
Yeah,
bit of
and
rubber green.
I feel like I know they are literally ranked the second best Aussie team right now.
Right.
But I think they're finally starting to get some of those results. So yeah,
Up the
up
Tars.
the Tars, everybody's favourite Australian team, except the Aussies hate them.
Yeah, because everybody hates New South Wales.
They hate the kind of posh North Shore Sydney.
Latte drinking,
Basically.
wankers. The way how everyone feels about Auckland.
Auckland,
and
yeah,
New
essentially.
Zealand, basically.
Essentially. And the last game was the Brumbies Highlanders.
And I watched a bit of it, and
It was a good game until
the Brumbies. The Brumbies saw some cracking tries.
Yeah, for sure.
The guy with the flying mullet, what's his name?
Oh,
Tool.
yeah.
Tool, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember his name because it was Tool, and I was like, he looks like a Tool. But
How do you feel about the mullet?
the European style haircut?
The moulet.
Yeah, I think it's. I like Theo Von's haircut. Do
Right.
you know Theo Von?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm making
Don't-
a rod for my own back here. He might be there. I'm not sure. If he's not, I have
Google Theo Von. You can do it.
I don't mind his mullet for some reason. It seems
Right.
to work, but I don't like some of these super stylish mullets
Yeah.
and stuff.
To be honest, I think the mullet ratio to Super Rugby player has actually gone down over the last 18 months.
Oh.
There was a lot of mullets, I think, a
NRL
year or
had
two ago.
a lot of mullets and
Right.
stuff like that. I work with a lady whose kids are fierce rugby players.
And they got mullets.
They've got mullets, and they're like straight requests for mullets when they go to the hair. And it's not ironic. It stopped being cool. It was never cool, but there was a ironic for a little while,
Right.
and then it stopped being ironic.
Right.
And it just started being what people wanted.
The kids with the mullets tend to play rugby pretty well, though. I think I need
It's
to
got
get
the arrogance.
Do I need to get my son a mullet? Is that going to improve his game? Like his team won at the weekend. But he
They
wasn't.
never win.
No, he's in a new team this year.
Are they better? Are they?
Yeah, well, this team's better for sure. They're 3 from 3 thus far. He's only played in the one game because we were overseas, but
I was a dad on a sideline on the weekend too.
oh, nice,
My daughter started playing football.
nice. She should play rugby, but that's all right. She can choose what she wants to play. My daughter doesn't want to play rugby. I asked her,
All right, fair enough.
but yeah, maybe I can get her more involved if
I
he gets a
didn't
mullet.
say I haven't given her the option of playing rugby.
There's only one girl on my son's team.
Her stepdad, who's a great guy by the
He's
way.
a football
He's a
fanatic.
football fanatic. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Most of my son's team, I think actually by his age, because he's 7, they've split off the boys and the girls. But there's one girl on his team because they don't have enough girls in her age range to play. So, I mean, they're 7 years old. There's not much difference. So,
Yeah,
she's
sure.
still going good.
Yeah.
But yeah. Mullets, Brumbies,
Oh yeah, sorry.
48-32. They beat the Highlanders.
And the Highlands, probably maybe one of the better performances from the Highlands.
Just the final quarter. Kind
Yeah,
of
just-
let it go a bit.
Tough year for them, eh? Where are they looking in the race for the 8? Let's bump this race for the 8 up. Tell me who are the
I've
teams.
prepared for
Always
the race for the
prepared.
8. So, we have...
The race for the 8.
There's...
No, can I do an intro? It's the end of the Super Rugby season. It's called Come Down to This. It's the final 8 of 12 teams.
1/3 of the teams will be eliminated.
1/3, the bottom third. If you're in the 2 top thirds, you've made the top 8. Mark from 2 Cents has been feverishly working away on who could be up to be in the prestigious, the world-renowned top 8. So give us your top.
Right.
Was that an intro? How was the intro?
That was something. Bruce Buffer's under no threat at the moment.
I was probably peeking out like fuck.
Yeah,
the whole
true.
time.
You can always edit that out.
Okay, yeah.
The Force are currently in 8th on 18 points. They're 1 point ahead of the Drua. Now,
Can I just tell you before I didn't listen to that line?
Right.
So I just felt myself sweating. I know I
Okay.
gave it a hard. You want to feel my sweat?
no, I'm all
A
good.
little touch. Okay. All right. Let's go. All right. You're doing the calculation. You meant to have this prepared.
I do have it prepared. Just my notes are not very clear.
Oh, God. Do you want me to try and
No,
make
because
sense
I've
of it?
written Force and then I've written the Force are home to the Force. That doesn't make a lot of sense.
Unless they develop cloning and they manage to incubate and grow those clone children very, very quickly.
Who the fuck are the Force playing?
I can't Google because it's connected to the TV.
I've turned on flight mode because I got an email.
All right.
You're going to have to edit this bit out.
I could just put some our little
Elevator music.
There it goes.
I did prepare for this.
Yes.
Oh, Brumbies. There we go. Okay. I did try to prepare for
Okay,
this
tell
earlier.
me- tell me-
the Force, who are currently in 8th, in the magic spot that makes the 8,
The top 2/3.
they have 3 games left. Everyone has 3 games left. Mm-hmm. They've got the Brumbies at home,
We're going run home stuff, eh? Okay, yeah.
then the Rebels away,
Uh-huh.
and then the Chiefs at home.
Nah.
So they have the 2 top-ranked teams of their last 3 games, plus the Rebels away. The Rebels are above them on the ladder.
If
Do the
they-
Force get any results out of those final 3?
I was going to say 2 things. Number 1, no. But number 2, if they do get in, by God, they deserve to be in there. And number 3, potentially, sneaky threat if they made it in through that gauntlet.
Right.
Yeah.
The Drua
Yeah.
got the Tars away, and remember the Drua are not good away from home. But then they have
More winnable on
Moana Pacifica at home,
Winnable.
and then the Reds at home.
Oh, yes. I would say.
You reckon the
I
Drua may be
reckon-
getting in there?
I
They're only
reckon.
1 point behind the Force.
I'm saying they're in a better position.
Right. Then you got the Rebels, Highlanders away,
Yeah, it's winnable.
Force at home,
So Highlanders in Dunedin, yeah.
Force in Melbourne, and then the Brumbies in Canberra.
Tough for them. Tough.
They'll
Still
be
tough.
targeting that Force game for sure.
Yeah, but it's still tough to win in New Zealand.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
against the lowly ranked Highlanders. And then the Highlanders, who are 11th, and they are on 15 points.
How many of
They're
the...
3 points behind the 8th spot at the moment. So,
So they say they need to win 3 out of 3.
maybe. They got the Rebels at home,
Winnable.
the Reds at home,
Winnable.
and then the Blues away.
Probably losing.
If it's a do or die match, though, can they get up? The Blues are in shit form at the moment.
Yeah, the Blues are in shit form.
But will the Blues be in shit form in 3 weeks? I don't know.
I reckon the Drua's going to get through
You reckon?
out of that lot. That's my pick.
I mean, the teams above them, the Reds and the Waratahs, are not guaranteed
I
spots.
think those
but
two relatively easier.
The Moana
games
Pacifica game at home is a,
It's a gimme, hopefully.
you would hope, from a Drua point of view.
Yeah. But yeah, no, those are all. You've made me invested in
At the
something.
bottom 8. No, the top 8.
The top 8. There we go. Fantastic. Well, that's exciting. And then the teams that are absolutely.
And then whoever gets that spot gets to play the Chiefs in all likelihood. And
So
get eliminated in the first round. Yay! That's how Super Rugby works.
we worked out a better system the other night, didn't we?
You did.
What do you think it was a better
It was
system?
complicated.
Where's the diagram?
You reckon a top 6?
Top 6, and there was a little bit of minutia in the explaining of it, but basically everybody plays everybody. No, you have everyone. I can't explain it. I need to do a diagram.
If you need to do a diagram, is it too
No, I
complicated?
think it was better. I think that it gave us a round 1. It gave a bye to the top 2 teams second round, and then it gave us a final.
my initial gut reaction, if you're doing a top 6, top 2 get a bye, top 2 get a bye. Yours has got a bye anyway.
But it had getting everybody on board for that first.
Top 2 get a bye, 3 plays 6, and 4 plays 5. The winners play 1 and 2.
No, I like the idea of the top 2 like having to fight at the beginning, and they can bum out.
Right.
Yeah, really, they can trot out.
They get a second life kind of thing.
They get a second life, but they can like go out in straight sets.
You know what you could do to spice things up?
Get everybody to put fucking flaming chilies up their asshole as they play.
Just drink some of this stuff. No, you could make it like a pick. So you give the top team your pick. Who do you want to play?
Oh.
Let them pick their opponent. Of course, they're going to pick the bottom team, but you never know. There might be a team that's like, actually, I reckon these.
Yeah, we've got the wood on these guys.
We want to. Maybe you pick the Crusaders. I'd rather play them now. Get them out of the way.
And then they could. Oh, that's genius. And then
Spicy.
Yeah, exactly. And then they go, we got the wood on these guys. And the people who get picked, they take it as a personal affront.
Like, you think you can beat me? Exactly. It adds some spice.
Yeah, give us some spicy meatballs in there. Come on.
I reckon that's another option.
I do think I've got my diagram.
Oh, God.
It did. When I did the diagram, you're like, actually, that's not that. It wasn't as
Once
bad.
I got my head around it, but yeah.
It's so hard to explain, though.
You can attempt it on a podcast if you want. For our listeners who do not have a
I'm not good at
diagram.
explaining complicated things. You know, I'm really
You
not.
can always save it for next week. You can prepare a graphic.
You know what? I could. Probably won't, but I could. Say in the comments below if you want to see
Tony's diagram.
Tony's awesome top 6 for how to save Super Rugby.
Yes.
Have you got Tom from Tom and Jerry on the back of your phone?
This is Jerry. Tom's the cat.
Yeah, it's a tomcat. I apologize.
That's kind of the logic there.
Yeah,
but anyway.
I apologize.
My kid's a big fan.
What can I say? I feel foolish.
You should.
I do feel foolish.
You should feel as foolish as me trying to put up that light.
You've had a couple of shockers around here recently.
He asked me to set up any equipment and just imagine Homer Simpson.
Yeah, he just sits there and goes, what? Like, he just looks at it and shakes it for a bit. It's great.
Caveman, just trying to smash things together.
You have a YouTube channel.
Oh, no, it involves technology. I don't know how it happened.
Speaking, I'm just going to take a quick tangent. Speaking of YouTube channels,
right.
2 Cents goes on tour.
Yeah, 2 Cents on tour.
First episode is out. I'm going to put a flipping card there.
I did put a video up.
Is there a second video out? Will you want me to put the card for the second video?
I am still editing the second video.
Okay, I know what that's like, editing.
The video where I go to a church and some lady's like,
take me to church.
I literally watched it back and I meet this lady as I'm going to find this old church.
Okay, but before, people might have no idea what you're talking about. Okay. What have you done?
So I'm in China.
He's not in China right now. He went to China.
I was in China.
And while
I was in China, I took a camera around with me. I went to see some interesting sights and talk to some interesting people. I speak a bit of Mandarin.
He speaks Mandarin fluently.
Okay, so I was talking to people in Mandarin, and I went to see this old church out in the countryside. And I literally arrive at the grounds of the church, and these people pull up in a car. They get out. And I'm like, hi. And they're like, hi. And then we speak Chinese. They're like, oh, shit, you speak Chinese. Come with us to the church. And I'm like, cool, let's go together.
Yeah.
And then the next line is, you can come to my house later if you want. And I was like, what the fuck?
They wanted to go to Bone Town.
Like, that's not something you say to someone who you just bumped into on the side of the street.
They saw how tall he was and were like, imagine his cock.
Have you ever just, met someone and be like, the second thing you ever said to them in your entire knowing of that person was like, do you want to come to my house?
Yes, but I had ejaculate in my pants.
So yeah, 2 Cents on tour.
Yeah, it's great.
Tony's put a card up over there.
Yeah, and if I haven't, I'm really sorry.
Links to the channel.
Yeah, go check it out.
I've only got one video up so far.
Exactly.
And I was kind of jet lagged, so go on with low expectations, but it was all right.
No, it's good. It's good. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a good starting point as well. Yeah. I saw that we had a little chat about it.
I changed the thumbnail.
Changed thumbnail, and you changed the title of the video.
I
said you got to make it sexier.
So I tried to make it sexier.
Yeah, it's sexier now.
Okay, good. This weekend, Mr. O'Sullivan.
Yes.
There's an Irish team playing. Leinster.
Yeah.
Are playing La Rochelle, who are not an Irish team, but they do have an Irish coach in Ronan O'Gara.
Yes.
Who's a former Munsterman. So
yeah.
There's a bit of a Leinster-Munster rivalry going on again in the Champions Cup final. These two sides met in last year's final.
Yeah.
The final last year was played in France. It finished 24-21. It was a close one.
Was that the one that went to the kickoff?
Eh?
wasn't there like a kickoff for one of them? Like
Not in that game, no.
What game was that? US? What was that?
I forget.
That would seem absurd. Who do I think is going to win? Is that your question?
Well, Leinster, the key point, I think, is this time the game is in Dublin.
I think you probably got to hand it to Leinster then, with just the role that not only Leinster's been on, barring what happened with Munster on the weekend, but just the role that Irish rugby's been on.
Right.
When they play with their full hearty support behind them, it's quite a powerful thing, and I think they've got the bit between their teeth in terms of they're not scared of success. They embrace it. They walk into the pressure. But La Rochelle are a team that'll have everything to play for. That will
This
put
will be
everything
their
out there.
third final in a row.
Yeah,
Like a couple
Wow.
of seasons ago, they were the runners-up. Then the next year, they beat Leinster. So, I don't know. Maybe Leinster needed to lose it last year to win it this year. You
maybe.
never know.
I reckon Leinster's going to.
You reckon Leinster's going to get up?
Leinster's
It is on the 21st of May, our time, 3:45 in the morning. I think it'll be the 20th for you guys on the other side of the world, but 3:45. See, 4:30 sounds better in comparison.
Yeah, that 45 minutes is just such a sweet sleeping.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So 4:30. So you'll wake up at 4:45 doing your. You'll still do your. Will you wake up watch a replay?
3:45, I will wake up at 4
Right.
and skip through
I quite like waking up. Like you just got to be careful with
social media.
social media because I managed to watch. I woke up at 9:30.
Right.
And
I haven't woken up at
I
9:30 in a
woke
long
up
time.
9:30. Sunday's the day I don't have medicine at home, so
Right.
it's just a nice little
Doable.
I can sleep, and then I wake up at 9:30, going and the UFC was on.
The UFC.
The UFC, not the URC, was on.
Right.
So there were a couple of fights I wanted to catch on that. Carlos
Right.
Olberg, Blackjack. He got a victory over some Ukrainian fellow.
Okay.
He's a Kiwi, fights out of. So I was flicking between the two. Like,
Oh, right.
like,
URC and UFC?
You know, even though neither of them were live, I just was like, I watched 20 minutes and then I was
Right.
like, oh, because the Carlos Olberg fight was over in the first round.
Okay.
Fun fact about Carlos Olberg was he's known to be a very attractive man. One of his modicums, one of his names, aliases, was Ladies' Night for a while. But he was offered the New Zealand Bachelor twice.
And turned it down?
Turn it down.
Wise man.
Yeah, said he wanted to smash people in the face instead.
Reality TV kind of sucks.
I used to work in reality television. I've told you this.
Did it suck?
Yeah, it was actually a lot of fun.
You said something about
It was
getting
very
dumb people to say dumb things, or pretty people to say dumb
So
things.
yeah, I worked in casting, and that was kind of the name of the game was find pretty people who say dumb, entertaining things. And you're like, okay, that makes me feel. And I got into television when I was really young and idealistic. I was like, I just want to make documentaries that affect real change. And then all of a sudden,
Bachelor.
I'm working on New Zealand Apprentice and working on a show about fat people and their fat pets. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
anything to pay the bills.
exactly right.
Yeah,
We've got to sell out sometime.
We do. It didn't take me long. I just had to pay the rent. Okay, what's next on your little card? Have we got
That's it. Oh, Billy Guyton died.
Ah, yes.
The former Blues, Hurricanes, and Crusaders Tasman halfback.
Oh.
They didn't say he's
Oh, no, what are you talking about?
Billy Guyton.
Not the centre.
No, 33 years old.
Oh. Crap bag.
It just said at the bottom of the article, if you need support or if you need help,
that
then call this number. So,
Um,
yeah.
should we drink a bottle of death liquid
To Billy Guyton.
for Billy Guyton? I would drink a splash, Tom. How about we do that? I remember him.
Yeah, he played for the Blues.
Yeah, solid. Oh, that's really sad.
Yeah. Talk to people. I don't know, man.
Guys, let us know in the comments below what your ways of dealing with life are. What are your ways
One of my
dealing
mates has
with
actually asked me that. Like, not while he was dealing with it, but he actually checked in on me and was like, you're right.
life? Well, that's really good.
Yeah,
I had
not
a
many
mate.
guys do that. At least in my circle of friends.
I had a mate because I had depression probably about 10 years ago or something like that, and I talked to my mates about it and stuff, and I managed to get over it. I ended up I don't think I actually had depression. I had undiagnosed ADHD,
Okay.
and that was causing other issues in my life. But I managed to deal with it, and there's lots of awesome things you can do in terms of, the medication you can get, but also just living a more active lifestyle, getting outside, getting the sun in your eyes, like, talking to people, being open with shit, all that sort of stuff. But then it was really nice. Like, I forgot I kind of had that years and years and years ago. But a mate of mine just rang me up, and a guy who's a mate, like a good mate I've known for like over 20 years, but like not someone who I hang out with all the time.
Yeah.
But he rang me up. He was like, I'm feeling pretty blue and pretty crap, but like, and I know you had a bit of a thing. How did you deal with it? And I was like, oh man, dude, like, awesome. Not awesome, not awesome that you're struggling, but like really good that
He reached out.
He reached out.
For
It
sure.
was really nice to see that is happening now, because I also have had 2 friends commit suicide within 3 weeks of each other.
Wow.
No, wasn't with them, because I went to the same spot for 2 suicide funerals 2 weeks in a row.
Fucking hell.
Brutal, man. Brutal. Lovely people. A young lady and a young man. Would have been 27,
Jesus.
28, something like that. Okay, that's a splash.
Okay, mate.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've had no personal experience with it in that regard. I know my dad's cousin committed suicide as well, and it was weird because there were 3 brothers
Yeah.
that were always my dad's cousins as I was growing up, and there was like the crazy one,
Yeah.
the car one, and the
Yeah.
normal one.
Oh, what was he? The normal one?
The normal one's the one who committed suicide.
gosh.
Like the one who had the nice house, the great job, like the white picket fence, the 2 kids, the boy and a girl.
Things
It's
aren't
just,
what they seem
Yeah.
like, and especially with social media, that people put their best life out there, basically.
yeah,
But they're not at all what they seem. But yeah, reach out, people. There we go.
that's all you
Oh,
can do.
Billy Garden, we're having a conversation we wouldn't have usually
No,
on a podcast.
pretty heavy.
All right, so is that's shottable? The
I reckon
bounce
that's
we got?
shoutable.
All right,
Billy.
to you. Get the peanuts. There they are.
It's the closest thing to a chaser. But yeah. Oh, talk to someone. Don't drink that shit. You wait. In about like an hour's time, when you burp, you'll still be tasting it.
Oh man, that's unpleasant.
Yeah. But is your mate doing all right? Now that
Yeah,
you've-
he is.
Good.
Yeah, he's doing good.
Good.
He's a top fellow. I'll talk to him about it again. Yeah, I think he's improving. But yeah, it's a battle. I think
It's not a quick fix. It's a long-term thing.
Israel. I heard Israel Adesanya say something pretty intelligent about mental health. Was like, we all have. Not all of us have mental health issues, but we all have mental health.
Right.
And if you don't take care of your mental health, you're gonna have issues.
Right.
So just making sure that you're doing the right things, putting yourself in a relatively positive state of mind, getting out, being
Yeah.
physical, getting outside,
Yeah.
doing those sort of things, not filling your body full of crap, as we have just smashing
Chinese alcohol.
Chinese alcohol, peanuts, and beer. But we don't do that all the time,
Not usually.
just once a week. And just taking responsibility for that sort of thing, you're gonna put
Right.
yourself in a much better space.
Well, if you look after your physical health, I mean, you got to do what you can to look after your mental health. I suppose it makes sense from a total layman's point of view.
Totally, 100%. Anyway, well, thank you for joining us for the last hour. Remember,
Yes.
this is I don't know how long this has been going.
It's a podcast, though.
It is a podcast.
You can watch it on YouTube, on his channel, sometimes on my channel,
If you are seeing our faces,
and always on those platforms that we mentioned earlier. Any place you
Spotify,
want to get
iHeartRadio,
your
anyway,
potties.
get your potties, basically. You can listen to us. And we really do appreciate it. Just a little reminder, there's some pretty big rugby coming up this year.
Other than the Super Rugby top 8,
It gets a little bit bigger than the Super Rugby top 2/3.
right?
Uh,
I reckon the top 2/3 sounds.
we're going
so
into
much
the
better
Rugby
than top 8.
Championship
Yes,
to hang out with our friends.
it is
again, so
just over 100 days until the World Cup. It's like 120 days,
it's going to ramp up quicker.
something like that.
Oh, we didn't talk about. Well, did want to talk about the fact that RTS wasn't selected for the Blues, but and there's a chance of there's a little bit in the rumor mill, but he could
Gonna
go
get
back to the
released?
Warriors
Yeah.
quicker. And then there's a small tournament that William Webb Ellis has something to do with. There in the end, and then the biggest of all,
2CGD.
the 2CGDs will come hot on the heels of the final of the William Webb Ellis Cup, the World Cup, and we will make some categories. If you feel at any time you have a good idea for a category, just chuck it in the comments, and that person we can make that into a TCGD. How about that?
Sounds like a plan.
It's really fan driven, isn't it?
We love the engagement.
Apart from we make all the decisions at the end.
I suppose we do, but a lot of the ideas come from the...
It's organic. It's organic. All right, well done, sir. Good work again.
We'll bring that
Top
bottle
stuff.
back. I will not drink that bottle. I will bring that bottle. Or I can bring back... I got a different bottle if you want to try something different, but for the Stormers
Yeah, okay.
and Munster final. Let us know who you think's going to win the final.
Anyway, team, thank you so much for watching.
Take care, folks.
Hi, da. Oh man, that booze is fucking nasty.